welcome to the Indiana Outdoors Podcast.
Yippee.
Indiana Oot Doos, as you
His
can
idea,
see
that
on
was
our
his idea.
lovely sign.
It was his idea.
You don't have to blame me.
With a horrible tree.
It's a phenomenal tree.
Mm.
Today, we're joined by 4 guests. I am one of them. I'm Jack.
I'm Alexia.
I'm Milo.
I'm Sean.
And welcome. So, we're going to start off the podcast today introducing the only person who hasn't been on the podcast before. Alexia was on here last semester, and you should know that. If you're watching this and you didn't know that, you're wrong. You understand that? Brother.
Why?
I wanted to cross my arms.
Oh my gosh.
He's so angry. He had to hit the
so
mic
angry.
and cross his arms.
Milo here
It's a lot of negative
is a
energy.
new member starting today.
Hi.
That's crazy, right? Insane. So Milo, what's your middle name?
Oh.
We can start with something easier.
Getting straight
Like,
to the
what's your
point.
major?
No, we can start off with a middle name. It doesn't make sense. It makes more sense with my actual legal name, but
You don't. Let's go with your major. What's your
Okay.
major, brother?
my major is media production.
That's crazy.
Well, now I can't help myself. I'm really curious. I want to hear your full name.
My full name, I'm okay with telling it. My full name is, well, can I say my last name?
Why would we care?
Yeah, that's so
That's
true.
all
up
I
to
don't
you.
care.
That's your
my,
comfortability.
my full name is Alexandria Kate Berry.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
And
Cool.
berries exactly spelled like strawberry.
You
I have
sound
Yes.
famous.
I'm actually named after the burning Alexandria, the library that got burned down.
Oh, I'm named after
Oh.
whiskey, so that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
I mean, it's better than being named Vincent. If I was a guy, I would have been named Vincent. So,
Well, look, my uncle's name is Vince, and he's not Vincent,
Well-
but that's still it's a good one
well-
because you can go by Vinny, and then you're Italian. which
yeah, that's
he
what my
is,
mom
but-
said. That's what my mom said.
Italian.
And I wish sometimes I
Yeah.
did wish, but not for Vincent because my dad has a tradition in his family where their middle name is Wayne
Mhm.
for all the guys. And I'm like, man, Wayne does sound better.
Well, my middle name is Lewis because that's
No.
my dad's middle name.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
everything that you would have been, I became. As a son, that's what I am.
What about you?
What's
Huh?
your middle name, Sean?
I bet it's
What?
Italian.
He's
No.
I bet it's
Oh.
British.
No,
Oh.
no, it's German.
Oh, no, Muller.
Muller?
Muller?
Muller.
I've never heard that used.
Muller.
What
Ah.
ethnicity is
I
Muller?
don't know.
I-
It was my mom's last
I feel
name.
like Mueller is
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
British.
It
Mhm.
sounds
Mueller.
It sounds like Irish. I also
Bleh.
thought about like a tooth, like molar, like a
Yeah.
A molar?
yeah. That's what I said.
Mueller. What's your middle name?
what's your
Alexia?
middle
Your
name?
I
middle
actually
name.
thoroughly enjoy my middle name. I think it's
Good
really
for you.
sweet. I wish
Good.
it was my first name. That's how much I love it. It's Diane.
Wow.
I love
That's a good one.
Diane.
Like
Good one.
Keaton or the Dead Princess. Which do you
Man.
prefer more? Who do
I
you
was-
prefer
I was
more?
gonna mention
Diane.
I was gonna mention Diana in the
Yeah.
most happiest home, and then you just had to remind us that she's
She's the
dead.
dead one.
R.I.P. Queen.
My middle
We
name's
lost a good
Lewis.
one.
Anyway,
Okay, Lewis.
stop laughing.
Okay.
That was quite rude. I'm pulling up the questions. I'm not looking at anything else but the question.
Brother,
that's the
brother
wrong one.
couldn't think about the questions
What
on
do
his
I'm a
own.
little sad.
What are you seeing?
Are you ready? Are you ready for the
I don't
questions?
know. I don't know. Are you?
Of you know,
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
why do we dream?
Mm.
Mm.
All of us
Why are
like-
we answering that?
Oh, this one.
I want to know.
What kind of
I
angle
I
is
didn't know
this?
if you guys knew.
Well,
I actually, I want to let
No,
you
no.
guys speak first. I take a
No. 'Cause
you
psychology
know?
class, and I
Wow.
I mean, I
You
know,
see?
I know,
I feel
I
like-
knew this was the right place
see,
to come
yeah,
to with
I
this
feel
question.
like we should not let you go first because you're just gonna like
I'm
make
gonna make
us-
it boring. So
If I may, since I'm new here,
You
can I go
may.
first? Okay.
What?
He's gonna go.
he's about to
man.
dream right now.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
I think we dream because you know how because I remember hearing about this is because like we basically oh my god, I completely blinked out. Okay, I got
You
it. No.
When you dream,
No.
you die.
Because like you're going through the entire day and you need rest and sometimes dreams is like you still being awake. It's like, oh, okay, your brain's still stimulated. Actually, I had a dream where
That's not the
said-
question.
Okay.
That's not the question.
Okay, I was gonna relate to it, but sometimes I feel like we dream just because we process like what happened that day. Like if we like fight,
Ding, ding, ding,
if we
Stop
fight,
nodding.
Stop
You
nodding.
can't- You can't validate that. That
I-
invalidates my
no.
theories.
No. Here's my other theory. It is a way to talk to your alternate selves.
You see,
And,
that's
like-
better.
Like alternate universes. I've heard about it. Like if you dream of yourself in like a dinosaur world, that is an actual universe. You know what I mean?
The
Well,
multi-universe.
the multiverse.
The multiverse.
Sean, you got something better than that?
Mm.
That's
It's just spring cleaning every day.
How does it relate to the question?
Interesting.
What? No,
It's just
spring
spring
cleaning.
yeah,
cleaning
yeah. It's
every
just
day.
spring cleaning,
Oh.
the thoughts in
it
your
could
head
just
and
be
everything.
cleaning. It doesn't have to be spring.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
true.
spring cleaning is more. Spring
I have
cleaning
a
is
dream in the
term.
fall. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah, fall. Yeah.
Different smells.
Yeah.
Different smells.
Oh boy.
I do have a question where what happens when people don't dream? Because I know some people who can't dream.
They're just boring. I don't know what
I
to
mean-
tell you.
Mm.
For the most part,
or-
I can't dream. So what the heck?
I tell
man?
you what, the less you dream, the less brain action. I bet they're closer to death. Say someone doesn't dream and you're like, the clock's ticking, buddy boy.
The clock's ticking.
The clock's ticking.
All right.
Okay,
well,
now let's have the
Alexia,
expert.
tell us the
You
answer.
don't. I thought you had some great idea that you wanted to share.
Do
You're,
you?
Oh,
you're
I
out of. You're out of
did.
great ideas.
That's a great idea.
No, okay. My grand idea is that when you dream, it's really just you fantasizing about your mom. I'm pretty sure that's what Freud said, right? That's what
Dude,
Freud said.
was a freaky guy.
Freud was a
What?
freak. I tell
What?
you
He was
what.
a freak.
I do not
But-
want to dream about my mom.
But we won't talk about Freud here. Freud's really not podcast appropriate. I tell you what. That man.
That man.
That man.
That
You know what?
man.
I will say though.
He had a
maybe-
lot of thoughts.
I'm
Maybe
looking
Freud-
at them in concern right now.
Maybe Freud doesn't fall into this category, but there are a lot of people in history who are incredibly impactful who we give a lot of credit for. But once you stop and like remember who they were as people, they're terrible people. Alfred Hitchcock.
Interesting.
Alfred
Ooh.
Alfred Hitchcock. He used his power for like I don't really know how to say this
What did he
appropriately.
do again? I'm forgetting.
He's the director,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
big
yes.
director.
I feel like
and he.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he used his advantage over women a lot.
Mm-mm.
And when in the movie Birds, when a woman, the female character in the movie Birds,
Yeah.
decided that this was stupid and that she did not want to do it, he basically just ruined her character. She loses all like ability to make like real choices. She makes stupid decisions. Spoiler alerts for Birds. But at the end, there's like, oh no, the birds have gotten into the attic. What should we do? How about I, the female character, go up there alone with no protection?
That is so.
And the actress said to Hitchcock, why would I do this? Why would this character do this? It makes no sense.
There's
And
no
Hitchcock
sense.
said, because I said to. And it was because he was mad that she wouldn't do any of that
Ew,
stuff.
I hate
yes.
that kind of
That's
power.
He's a
terrible person.
That's
like,
a horrible.
yeah, that's
I feel
awful.
like we focus a lot on like just males in general. We just forget about all the women. And me personally, I have my favorite woman. Would you guys like to know who it is?
Harvina Weinstein.
No, Mary Toft.
Who's that?
That is the Rabbit Queen. I
The
can't.
Rabbit Queen.
Yeah, I can't go fully specific, but let's just say she gave birth to rabbits in the 17th century, and then
Wait, helped a rabbit give birth or
No,
gave birth to
she-
rabbits?
Is she a real
herself-
person?
yes, she herself. If you Google this, she is a real person. She herself gave birth to rabbits, and there was so many doctors who came. There's about like what 10, 13 doctors, including the Royal Highnesses, like doctors, and the king, who believed that she did birth these.
This is something Sean would say.
What? Okay.
No, but like, what angers me a lot is I recently just watched a documentary about it in my class, and I'm like, they do not know because they're seeing her as like a fraud, an outlaw, and like, yes, this was of course fake. You can't really birth rabbits. She just did
What?
something very immoral. I can't say that on here, but I'm
All
just
right.
I'm leaving
Okay,
that to the
okay.
imagination.
Well, good for
It's
her.
in the air. It's in the air.
But,
like-
we'll look it up.
But
yeah.
like when people
Do
like,
your own research.
but like here's the
do
main
your research, kids.
yeah, do your
Critical
research.
thinking.
Do your own research.
But like, here's the thing, nobody ever thought about like what was she actually going through? Because I did research on myself, and she had so many miscarriages before
Well,
the incident.
You see, women before 1924 all had hysteria. I don't know if you know that. Every
Okay,
woman who ever
yeah.
died of hysteria.
Yeah, but like also there's
Yeah.
also
What?
Yep. It's
I-
like the only diagnosis anyone had was just
Oh,
hysteria.
I know. Okay.
That wasn't
I'm
my
like,
actual
I thought
belief.
you were like, you know what, women,
No.
crazy.
no,
Like,
no,
I'm
yeah.
like-
What? That's
Okay.
crazy.
Moving on from whatever this is, I have a question
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sean.
Oh.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Why do whales beach themselves?
Hmm.
Ooh.
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
Sean would know this.
Yeah.
Sean, you look You're
look like a
extensive
guy.
cucumber.
You have a
What do cucumbers have to do with this?
Well,
you
because
have a
you're-
mustache. You have that
Mhm.
thinking mustache.
Yeah.
All right.
Stroke the mustache. It'll
Let
come
the
to
man
you.
speak. Let him speak.
God will glean it upon you. Well, why do whales beach
Beach
themselves?
That's a good question. It's a very good question.
Mm.
They want to get a tan.
Ooh.
Okay.
There. Have you seen a whale? How much darker do you expect them to get?
I don't
You know
know.
what? I can't question it. That's the answer
Hey,
now.
yeah. Who are you to
Well,
judge a whale?
Put it into
like, man?
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Well,
who-
I
who
mean,
are
it
you to
really
judge a whale?
depends on the whale, because isn't there like a white spotted like whale, like it's white but then it's covered in spots?
Oh,
Like an orca?
They're like freckles.
No.
Oh my
what?
gosh.
Freckles.
I love orcas.
You love freckles?
I like freckles too.
You look like somebody who would like whales. That's a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
like that compliment.
Are you
That's a
ready?
nice compliment.
No.
Alexia, this next one's for you.
Okay.
Some plants have memory. Where do you think they store the memory?
Oh my gosh, this kind of like terrifies me because I have plants, and I'm like, this is crazy because
you know
this
plants
summer,
can't see, right?
yeah,
Well, they
Okay.
might.
but like,
No.
listen, I feel like I may have traumatized my plants. I left them with my mother over the summer.
Oh no.
The in-laws have to do that
has
to you.
the opposite of a green thumb, a red thumb, whatever you want to call it.
The
She has
brown
no
thumb?
Yeah, I don't know.
She has no thumbs.
No thumb at all.
Mm-mm.
So they were left with her. They were dried out, gross, like they were blackened. Like I had to bring these guys back to life. They were
Wow.
pothos, if you know anything about those.
Pothos.
Golden
Pothos.
pothos.
Wow.
And they're not hard to grow. That's the best part. They're not hard to keep up with. They're so low maintenance, but they were down so bad, and then I brought them back to life, and I'm like, I hope they don't remember that. So thanks for like ruining my
but-
conscience about my lovely angel babies.
Okay.
But
Clearly, you've been traumatized. But where do
I
you think
think-
this memory of their trauma holds within themselves?
I
Yeah.
bet they hold it in the roots. Like that just makes
In
sense.
the roots.
Yeah.
But
Convince me otherwise. I
so
think it's the
some
roots.
plants, you can cut the roots off, replant them, and then they'll begin sprouting roots again.
Yeah.
But if they cut the memory off, how would they know to do that? I mean, DNA would just tell them. But
yeah.
where do you think?
What do I think? What?
I think it must be in the DNA itself. Like it must rewrite. Well, no, it can't because that makes no sense.
No, yeah, DNA. I mean, that makes sense on a
But then-
biological level.
But then that means that the DNA is being rewritten every time it experiences something new, and DNA is static. Like
I-
a DNA of a tree when it's first planted and when it's old is the same exact thing.
Well,
not the same exact
No?
thing.
No.
It
Mm-mm.
changes.
DNA Well, I mean,
I mean, it
you're
replicates,
right in
but-
saying it's the same exact thing, but you're also
Wrong.
wrong by saying it's the
This
same
is a
exact
paradox.
thing.
You're
because
right.
like, look, DNA strand. This is a
Uh-huh.
double helix. Pretend this
Uh-huh.
is a double helix.
Sure.
DNA strand. We're replicating. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we take a piece of this strand
Uh-huh.
and then we replicate a new strand.
Uh-huh.
So it's a bunch of old and new, old and new, old and new,
Uh-huh.
old and new. So yeah, it's like the same, but it's not the
Uh-huh.
same.
So
I
you
don't know.
say it evolves.
It evolves.
Like Pokemon.
So,
What?
so I'm right.
So yeah, Jack's always right.
That's what we
Next
should-
question.
That sounds wrong to
Wow.
say that Jack's always right.
Yeah, but yeah.
Questions are rigged. The questions are
Okay.
These
rigged.
questions
He's
are
setting us
rigged.
up for failure.
This
Yeah.
one, this
True.
one's for each of you. Are you ready?
Ooh.
No.
Which predator would you choose to be hunted and eaten by?
Ooh.
Note you have to both be hunted and eaten. It's not just this guy can kill me quick. I mean, he could. But you have to go through the terror. You have to go through the terror of being hunted, and then
pain,
you
the
are going
torture.
to like die. You have to understand
Can
that.
we talk about the animal we do and then the animal we don't want to be hunted by?
We're specifically talking. We can talk about the animal we would not like to be hunted by later. But I want to know who would you want to pounce on you. I will start to give you each time to contemplate. I
Mhm.
choose an angry poison dart frog.
Mm.
You see, that's the stupid answer for one main reason. It wouldn't eat you. So, with that being said, I take that whole answer back. I
I'm
only
like,
now
how-
realize that
It
that was a
was-
dumb answer.
You know what's really funny? Your socks kind of remind me of a poison dart frog.
They're just mushrooms.
Yeah, they're purple mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're purple little poison-looking mushrooms.
Well, they're fancy. I haven't done laundry in a long time,
Good
so
thing, boy.
I'm on my fun socks. Yeah,
That's
normally.
when you choose to wear your fun socks. I go
My
through my
wife-
fun socks first, and then it's
Yeah.
like, dang,
Well,
I've got white socks
I'll
left.
be honest with you. First of all, these socks, all of my fun socks are very old, so like they're not very comfy. And I just got brand new black. Oh, they're the softest socks. I tell you what.
Oh,
That's
And
how
they're
you
so
walk.
comfy. But anyway, I have to come up with a new answer, and because of that, Milo, what would you like
Yes.
to be hunted and eaten
I
by?
immediately thought of my favorite animal, the maned wolf,
You-
which is
Hmm.
because it is like a very tall creature that can easily like hop onto me like
Mhm,
an
mhm.
animal, like not like an animal, it is an animal,
Mhm,
like a dog, and could tear me to shreds.
mhm.
But it would bring me joy that I
It would-
fulfilled the cycle.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
and also us humans, we have messed up the environment, so I feel like it's understandable why it would attack me.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I want to say a fun answer. It can't be my answer, but a fun answer would be a vending machine.
That's not an animal.
That's not a predator.
But it can hunt you and it will kill you.
No, it won't.
In fact, coconuts and vending machines kill more than
Those are
sharks
two
every year.
What?
Did you know
Wait, what?
Because vending machines like
there are
fall
not a lot
on
of shark
people?
attacks, yeah, but people are dumb and will shake vending machines, fall, smash.
Okay, but what's the coconut thing? It hits your temple and you pass out.
Yeah.
No. Do you know how tall coconuts are? How
Tall?
tall?
How
Coconut
tall?
trees
Huh?
are.
Yeah,
Yes, they
yeah.
fall down and they crack your skull open and
Yeah,
they kill you.
it's like the
Yep.
penny.
They're bad, fellas.
Mhm.
It's like the penny thing, where like
It
if you
doesn't-
drop a penny from the.
But they've done
State building.
they've done
Ah.
experiments and they like a penny can't kill you from that high up. It'll
Mhm.
injure you.
But
That's
a
what they want us
coconut
to
can
think.
crack your skull
Yeah.
before the coconut cracks.
No, it might crack. I don't know. I don't know what the coconut's doing.
He just knows the statement. That's it. He knows
Yes,
nothing about it.
I know that coconuts kill more people than sharks every year.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, word.
What's your answer?
I like coconut.
What?
Yeah,
why are we- why me?
Sean.
Okay.
Sean.
So
He's
w-
excited.
On this conversation, mine immediately went to the hypothetical of would you rather in like an abandoned mall, would you rather be hunted by a single silverback gorilla or 5 black
Mm.
mambas?
Oh.
And so that immediately got my mind realizing.
So then where are
Gorilla.
you at with that?
Gorilla.
And why do you
Okay.
choose gorilla?
Well, in that hypothetical, gorillas are more likely to just stay
Oh.
away from you, and you already
Mhm.
know where it is. Whereas
Mhm.
black mambas can get it through vents and
But
stuff.
they
and can always kill
will
you.
hunt
Kill.
and kill
Yes.
Yeah.
However,
So, yes.
I'm still going for the gorilla in this option because, given its strength, I feel like it would be one swift blow and then I'm out and I wouldn't have to feel the pain.
you. And you see, that's where I thought most people would choose their answers of what's going to kill you most painlessly and what's going to hunt you the fastest. I don't want a long hunt because if I have to be, sorry, fellas, if I have to be caught and killed, I don't want that to take all day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
get it over with,
Yeah,
Grandma.
'cause
Like,
for-
Come on, chop chop. I got the afterlife to go to.
Yeah,
yes.
because like for my answer, the maned wolf, I feel like it would like easy hunt. Because one, I'm really small. Two, it's probably bigger than me, and also it has long legs, which means it can run fast.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I heard like a little squeak, and I didn't. know what it-
Sometimes this does that, but it does not come out in the final recording for some reason.
That's so.
Either that or I was just squeaking on accident.
I don't know
It
who
was one of the two.
I thought I was. No, it wasn't
Wait,
me.
wait. I have a question.
Okay.
Could the animal be a human being?
No.
Um.
Dumb
Not-
question.
Not that type
Alexia.
Of predator.
What?
Humans are animals. I
Not-
think that's
not that-
fair.
Your mom's an animal.
Not-
Oh, she killed those
Oh.
plants.
No,
They're
my
cold
mom is my
blood.
mom.
We're
So
not-
Alexia,
What?
what animal would you like to be hunted and eaten by?
Hunted and eaten by. I'm sad it's an animal because I was thinking of a mythical like creature thing, but like I'm gonna ignore
Mhm.
that, I guess.
You can
Okay.
do it.
I,
You can do two. Bonus answer. I
Okay.
said vending machine.
Okay, a unicorn.
But would it eat you?
I think it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it. Yeah, I
Think
think
you're
it. Maybe
tasty
it would
enough.
eat my soul or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's
Okay.
like.
Jeez.
I feel like that's like the less. I don't know if that would be really painful or less painful.
like beautiful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm
no,
like, if I
not
can
beautiful.
die,
We're the beautiful.
gorgeous
no, like you
stuff.
don't know if like because
I think it would be beautiful.
Nobody has ever like gotten their soul sucked, so we don't know if it's like really painful or not.
Nope.
Have you?
Did you know a typical cumulus cloud weighs 1.1 million pounds?
No
No
way.
Did you?
way.
That's no, I did not.
Is that
No.
true?
Why would I make that up?
Why?
That'd be such a weird
Why-
thing to
why
come on
you-
and make that up.
Why would he look at his
Because
phone?
you make up weird things.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't know.
I haven't. I
You know
can't
what?
make up.
New
What?
new hypothetical. Why does it weigh that much?
Why does it weigh that much?
Yeah, for
it's
you
a lot
specifically.
of water up there.
Water.
Stop humming.
Water. Water.
Moving on.
Water.
Oh my God. Moving on.
He doesn't like the water song.
Did you know several hundred animals hide their food?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Name the different reasons why.
Ooh.
Starting with my bow.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, I feel like one, because
2.
because well, of course, for hibernation, they would need food to like, to store in there for like to survive through the winter and everything like that.
Indeed. Sean, what's another reason? That's
off,
right. Get cut off.
Off topic, but you said my bow. That's like an eye drop.
My bow's an
Brand.
eye drop?
That's like an eye drop or like eye medication thing.
Marlboro.
Sean, what's another reason why people would, not people, why animals would
I mean,
hide
people-
their food?
Mm, mm,
Hmm?
mm,
Hmm.
mm.
Hmm.
Their greed.
Their greed.
They're
They greed is
Who would have
sickens
ever
me.
guessed it's their
Greed.
person? Ooh.
Their
I
greed.
see. I see. Alexia, why
Reason they
would...
hide their food.
Hey, that's my line.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on, we gotta start over.
Take it away.
Several... Nope. Okay. Why would they hide their food?
Oh, they would hide their food to build little farms for themselves and their cute little houses.
That's
and
the
stuff.
dumbest answer.
No,
How-
it's not.
that's
it's
so
adorable.
They build
mean.
little
What
farms?
about, what about Peter Rabbit?
That's
Yes,
not
what
a
about
person.
Peter
Not a-
Rabbit?
I mean,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
no,
he's
no.
a rabbit. Come on.
technically, she's not wrong because squirrels, with their acorns. What does acorns lead to?
But they're
trees.
not... they're not
Trees.
like...
What does trees make? Acorn. Acorn, squirrel, squirrel, acorn,
Exactly, yeah.
acorn, tree.
Okay, okay, but in my defense, trees take way longer to grow than squirrels have to live. So they're not really farming for themselves, they're farming for their children.
Yeah.
They're farming for their future generations.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
can
They're
learn from
farming
that.
for
We
the
can learn
environment.
from
We
that.
can learn from
High
that.
They're
five.
planting trees for the environment.
Oh my god, I didn't expect
Okay.
that to be so
Well,
rough.
you guys
Oh, I'm
missed
sorry.
2 large
Yeah.
ones. Are you ready?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Nice cough. Nice cough. That'll get cut out. That'll get cut out. That won't
So,
be. That won't be audible.
large carnivores, such as pumas,
Mhm.
hide carcasses too large to eat in a single meal to return to them later. Sometimes you bite off too much for you to chew.
True.
So you store it, you hide
Leftovers.
their food, and you come back for a meal later.
Yeah, they put their leftovers in the fridge.
It's like when
Not
you
a fridge.
can't
It's a fridge.
finish the entire
It's a-
chip bag.
You
So
can't
you
finish
roll up
your-
the chip bag
Why?
and you stuff it under your
Yeah.
bed.
See, yeah. The
Or
fridge
like
is the
It's
Taco
like the
Bell.
same
yeah.
thing.
See, it's the fridge is a
Oddly
the fridge is a
specific.
metaphor.
What do you think the
yeah.
animal's fridge is?
Dirt.
Mm,
They don't have one.
No,
Yes,
it's
they
it's a
do.
metaphorical fridge.
what about the river? like a
Ooh,
a
yeah,
lake?
like the winter time.
Especially, yeah.
In like the winter time, when
Guys,
it's like really
I
cold.
don't know if
Or
you
like a
knew
dark
this.
cave.
I don't know if you knew this, but when you put something dead in water, it doesn't stay there or fresh. It
Well-
moves. Why?
No,
No, no.
No, they put a rock
yes,
over
my
it.
moving
Yeah.
fridge.
Yeah, they put
What?
a rock
Animals
over
Okay.
are smarter than
Okay.
us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What animal's putting rocks? Okay. No.
An otter.
Stupid
Nope,
answer.
Yep, next question.
Done. Done.
What's wrong with the metaphorical fridge?
Yeah.
The other. Shut up.
He's
The other
so
one
mean to us.
is
Yeah,
some
we gotta revolt,
animals
we gotta revolt.
store food to allow them to ripen. Some species, like the tyra weasel and leafcutter ants, hide food that is inedible when fresh, allowing it to ripen or grow a fungus for later consumption.
I wish
Yeah.
we could eat fungus.
Yeah, so it's
We
just
We-
can.
So, yeah,
we
no.
eat
can.
mushrooms.
So, yeah, no.
Well, I
Brother.
mean, like the
So the animals just buy bananas
We
at the
eat
supermarket and then
penicillin.
just
We
like wait
eat
for it to ripen.
cheese.
what's
Yeah.
penicillin?
Well, guys, we're
What
at
does
that.
Gilbert say? What does Gilbert think?
We're at that point of the podcast where we
Mhm.
have to ask our signature question.
Ooh.
Now,
Okay.
Sean unfortunately has answered this many times, and he's had time to think about the correct
Mhm.
answer. Something better than cucumber.
Oh, there's a correct answer.
Yes. Well, it's not a correct answer, but he
Mhm.
said many wrong ones. If we were to start a mysterious stew in the woods in
Mhm.
Christie
Mhm.
Woods here at Ball State University,
Mm.
What would you
I'm in time now, I
add
can't
to
speak.
the stew? Now, this is a community stew. It's more of a potluck, but we call it a stew in honor of Stew Theus and the stew crew from the Perpetual Stew. So
Okay.
thank you, Stew Theus, for giving us content. Now, what would you add to the stew? Now, we're going to start a fresh stew. We've had multiple stews in the past. We had a gumbo on our last episode. The first
Ooh.
one, Sean put
gumbo.
cucumber in it. Yeah.
What?
Why is he putting And then the episode after, this man had the audacity to bring cucumbers into the podcast. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
an actual cucumber?
Yeah, tasty.
Right?
Mm.
Disturbing. So I will start so you all have a second to think.
Okay.
Personally, what I would do is I would take the right hand of God, bring it down. I would turn our cowboy over there. What's his name again? I feel like we had a name.
I don't know.
I would turn this cow into a calf, and then while still mooing, I'd throw her in the tub.
Oh.
You see,
So-
I call it the lobster method. We just chuck her in, boil her, and then what do you know? The innocence makes her tastier. I tell you what, you can taste the innocence of off a lamb leg every time you eat one. And you're like, you can tell this lamb never had to pay taxes. Like,
I'm already not enjoying this stew.
I
I fear.
regret joining this club.
so that's my answer, is a live baby calf.
Mm.
Now, Alexia,
Ugh.
it doesn't have to be as godly,
As godly.
as
It's
godly of an
godly.
answer as I've just bestowed upon our stew. But what would you add to a stew that already has a living calf in it?
And the hand of God.
And no, not
From the
Just
hand of God.
You could
oh,
add the
okay,
hand of
okay.
God.
No, that's okay. So we've got the calf.
yeah.
Only one item I can add.
Yes,
I feel like-
correct.
Okay, I feel like
Oh, by the way, at the end, we've created a new rule, kind of. At the end, we come back and we create a base. However, I believe with the cow already in there, we can assume it's going to be a beef base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's basically a beef stew with
So it's-
every bit of beef in there.
I'm sorry.
basically already based.
The way you say stew.
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 Okay. So, Alexia, what
I can even do
what
that.
what would you add?
I
to
have
the
two
stew?
complimentary
That's okay.
items.
You can add them. You
Can
know what?
I?
We won't
Okay.
limit you.
Okay. So first one, I'm adding beets because
Beets.
beets, while they're kind of nasty, I'm gonna be honest.
They are.
People, if you act like you like them, you're lying to yourself. But they are a superfood. They're great for you. They'll be great paired with the meat, the beef. So
calf.
beets because really good for us.
Bears.
And then the little honey twist like barbecue Frito chips.
What?
Yeah. So next.
Oh no.
No, you don't get to go.
Here's-
Next. What are you talking about? You have to explain that one. That was the weirdest thing you could have said.
That was the weirdest.
You know, I sat here and I contemplated for a little bit. I'm like, well, we need a superfood, something to keep us going a little
and
bit
then some
longer.
Fritos on top.
Yeah, I really like the honey barbecue Fritos.
You know what? That's good
The twists.
seasoning. That's
The
good
twist.
seasoning. But they're gonna get soggy after a while.
Yeah.
And then you're just
But
eating
then-
some corn. Just some
Yeah,
soggy corn bits.
corn.
Nobody wants that.
I'm not saying it's a bad answer because
No.
I do like the seasoning.
It's like a
Yeah.
walking taco. But
So
in a
we're gonna-
stew.
It's a watery taco. So
Oh,
you don't get to take that back. I like that
Okay, yeah,
answer.
Yeah, I still like my
Um,
answer. It's a topping, maybe.
So, Milo, if we made a mystery stew in the middle of Christie Woods and there were currently a whole baby cow, that one to be specific, if we Pinocchio'd that cow and then ate it, we put in a bag of honey barbecue Fritos and beets. What else would you put into the stew?
We're not gonna kill you.
I was originally thinking of like a perfect answer, but then I remembered what I had that kind of made it better. And so I'm going to say that instead. You are going to look at me and you're going to look at me in disgust. But I say, you hear this?
Spit it out.
Maple syrup.
Oh.
No.
That's thick.
Did we have to go
What-
there?
No, because
Can I get a brand or maybe a location where this
Yeah.
maple syrup
Like-
is
Wait,
coming
why?
from? because
Wait,
that
why?
matters.
I don't know what brand.
Ethically sourced?
One
grass
that's like
fed. I
I
read
tell
a
you what,
bedtime story.
we'll grab grass-fed maple syrup.
grass
We'll
fed
grab it.
maple syrup.
We'll grab maple syrup right out of the Canadian Maple Syrup Reserve.
Yeah.
Pure.
There
That's
you
some
go,
pure
there you
stuff.
Pure, but I say maple syrup because this is referring to when I had spicy noodles and I heard that sweet things make No, yeah, sweet things make spicy things like less spicy.
So you know how we have no spice so
I,
far?
I just
And
like to
so-
mention we have
and
0
so
spice.
that should be a hint to our next person.
No, you don't get to direct his. He's
Ah.
gonna put more cucumbers in there. And we're just gonna
Hey,
have a
they're
weird
not.
sweet
Aw,
Now
no,
you have
that's
to-
crazy.
No, because like here's the thing: we
No.
have a calf and like
Yeah.
meat, sweet.
stew.
Sweet
You just
meat.
want some sweet honey meat with a little bit of barbecue
Well,
on
we
top.
don't have honey.
Sweet
now,
honey
do we?
meat beets.
We don't have any honey.
Sweet honey meat beets.
Can
Now
I-
you've got to add like jalapenos or something
No.
because we cannot.
He
No,
gets
no.
to choose whatever he wants to
Wait.
choose. You're your own woman, John.
Wait, she
Go.
got.
Go
Okay.
queen. He said,
Why'd you look? Okay.
Am I out of timeout now?
You're
Yeah.
out of timeout.
Okay, cool. Am I allowed to repeat my answer from last time?
Not even a
No.
little.
No.
What's wrong with cucumbers?
There's
New
something
stew.
wrong.
New stew.
New stew, new you.
New stew.
New stew, new you.
Look at this
Okay.
cow.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at this baby cow.
This is Chinese
I
New
want to
Year,
eat
baby.
that.
You got to stop smacking that
Stop
thing.
it.
No,
Smacking that.
You gotta raise that higher.
no.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'd say I have two different answers. I'm gonna go with the one I thought of first, and then the other one second.
Okay.
First, cauliflower.
That's a good
Ah,
one. I don't
okay.
like it, but I can see
I-
it in
yeah,
the
that's
stew.
one- that's one of,
it's
like,
a good
the
stew
beets
answer.
and
I really-
cauliflower.
Cauliflower is
heavens.
awesome. Cauliflower tastes great. What are you talking
Cauliflower?
about?
We have
Yeah, what's wrong with cauliflower?
Cauliflower.
nothing's wrong with cauliflower.
Yeah, what's wrong with cauliflower?
wrong with it?
Cauliflower.
I prefer my cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower?
Can I get some
Cauliflower.
Can I get a
Falafel.
colonoscopy in this
Cauliflower.
here?
Cauliflower.
So, okay, what's your second answer?
Wait.
Tortillas.
Dord. Wait,
Dang it, man. Like,
Flour
what
or
is
corn?
this? I'm not eating this stew. I was
no.
excited.
Hold on.
Flour.
Corn or flour? That's the right choice. You made the right choice though.
Wait. They got two, but I only got one.
That sucks. I
Yeah.
only got one as
Well,
well,
there
but I
you
did
go.
put a whole cow in there.
Uh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
only
That's a
placed-
big one
I
answer,
only-
buddy.
I only placed in maple syrup. What's wrong with maple syrup?
That's maple syrup alone removes you from being able to get a second
That's
option.
so mean.
Yeah.
No, because it helps me because I added
No, because now
cheeses,
you're just gonna add a
spicy ramen.
jalapenos.
Yeah,
We already
now
know
you're
what
just
it
gonna
is.
add- yeah,
You
come
get
on, man.
no leeway. That's
If
right.
I don't get to do
Am I being
cucumbers
cucumber?
again, you
Am
don't
I
get
the
you-
next cucumber guy?
No, it's not as bad
No,
as
it's-
cucumbers.
It's not as awesome.
But
as
you
cucumbers.
made the stew unnecessarily sweet, and you don't get to take it back
What?
by adding weird
The
spice.
cow is sweet. The cow has an
And with
innocent
that,
soul.
Hold on, what time is it?
We're
And with
eating-
that,
we're eating the cow's innocent
JD's
soul.
and Lettleman. That is all we have time for on
JD's
today's
and Lettleman.
podcast.
Oh
So
man.
to wrap us up, we're gonna do our signature outro, which is where
Okay,
we
yep.
all look at the camera.
We all say the catchphrase. We all know.
Yes, we all know this
That we
catchphrase.
all
Yeah,
know.
we all
Yeah.
know the catchphrase.
Are
Yeah,
you
come on,
ready?
guys?
We all know
We're
the
all gonna
catchphrase.
look
Yeah,
at the
you've been here
camera
before. You know-
and
Ready?
say it.
You've definitely been
Are
here.
you,
In a
Yeah,
three.
are you ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
Indian
Go
hug a
Oh
tree.
yeah, go hug. Oh yeah, go hug a tree.
Hug it. Hug
I was
it.
saying Indian outdoors.
Go hug a
3,
tree.
2, 1.
Go
hug
hug
a
a
tree.
tree.
Go hug a tree, I guess.
Mwah.